Hello class. So in these lecture slides, we will be learning about the scientific method. The learning objectives begin with knowing the steps one must follow, understanding what each step requires, knowing how this can be applied to real-world problems, and finally understanding what the overall goal of the scientific method is. The scientific method is used by scientists to explore testable questions. The method lists out the steps that must be followed in order for an experiment to be valid and useful to the scientific community. Although the list of steps to be followed is in order, there are instances where scientists may not follow the exact order or go back and redo a certain step. There are many versions of the scientific method, however, they all still follow the same basic outline, which is to gather research, try to predict what could happen based off the current research, test the experiment, and then report the findings. And additionally, the same goal as well, which is to gather information about the scientific matter in order to gain a better understanding of it. So what are the steps? Step 1 is to observe and ask different how, what, when, where questions. Can this not be answered without an experiment? If the answer is no, then we move on to step 2 and we refine our question to something testable, making it as clear as possible what you want to find out. Step 3. What do you predict will happen? Next is step 4. Test your hypothesis with your experiment. While the experiment is going on, the 5th step is to write any observations or take pictures. And lastly, the last step is to define your results and state whether your hypothesis was true or false. So this is another example of the scientific method. As you can see, the steps are about the same. However, here the second step required research to be done about the topic you are studying. So what will I need this for? As students, through your scientific academic career, you will be reading about and performing experiments, and you must determine whether they're valid or not. If a valid experiment is not being done, there's no use to the scientific community. Additionally, validity is also important so that these experiments can be replicated. Replication would indicate more data to examine, and with more data, a topic of interest, there would be more certainty. Okay, thank you.